How you doing? It's your Wednesday guy, Khaiden here, and I was coming to you all for another video on this beautiful Wednesday. Um, so if you haven't checked out Cases and Cool's video, the topic of this week is bullying. If you haven't checked out their videos, make sure you check those out, as well as check out the other guys during the remainder of the week. Make sure you check out the videos for those guys as well. So, my experiences with being bullied can start as early as my 6th grade year. That's really truly when a lot of people start noticing, oh, boobies and breasts and things where it plays a huge role in your physical attractiveness to the opposite sex. However, at that point, I've already knew what I wanted, and I also knew what I liked. So when people would bully me, I denied them for the mere fact of I was not ready to deal with the backlash of the choice that I was going to make in my life. I was not ready to have to deal with that yet. And I came out in high school, but I always knew that I wanted to transition. Like, since I'm not gonna say I can recall high school, maybe before that, but I've been looking up transitioning before, like when they did those old-fashioned phalloplasties where they were old-fashioned. Not they didn't. I don't think they used implants at that point in time. I think it was just maybe they had rods. I don't know, but I know for a while, because I can remember Googling phalloplasties. Well, I didn't know there was phalloplasties back then. However, Googling phalloplasties and actually seeing the old-fashioned phalloplasties. I would say high school just to be on the safe side. So, that started to occur due to the fact that I was overly masculine for a female. So it turned into this huge thing where they were correct that I liked girls. Every time I told somebody no, I didn't like girls, I already knew. I just was not ready to tell Billy, Bob, Joe, Jack, and Jill. I was not ready to do that. I wasn't ready to say, well, hey, this is what I like, because I was also trying to figure out a lot of other things. Was it just I like girls, or was I like girls and everything else that I'm currently going through now? So, another thing that I experienced bullying was, I'm so sleepy, guys, y'all have no idea. And then I got work from 3 to 11 tonight. Where was I? Then, but family bullying, and I'm gonna just say this from transitioning. Explain things to your family members. If they choose to ignore the fact of your pre-warnings, I'm just going to give a little slight advice. This may not work for you, but this works for me, and I'm fine with the decision that I've made with this. I treat some of my family members like they're a business. When it is profitable for me to be in their presence, I will. When it's not profitable, I won't. I'm not sacrificing who I am, the amount of work, the amount of effort, the money that I personally spent on my therapy sessions to have to subdue who Khaiden is for the mere fact of you're choosing to say that he does not exist. Some of family members use my birth name Cabrina like it's a curse word, like I'm supposed to start and get angry and upset. She was here first, she existed. I was also 6 pounds and 8 ounces at one point in time in my life. However, I'm not that, and I also used to be able to fit into a size small t-shirt, and I've also what else? I also used to be 160 pounds. I'm probably not going to get down to that weight ever again because of my structure. However, there are some things that I have to accept, and there's some things that I accept with that. I accept the fact that she was here. So if you as a person will use my birth name as though it's some type of non-self manifestation of my previous self, like i.e. saying, oh, I'm gonna just call you this just to tick you off, then you go on. I'm not going to sit here and entertain you. I will tell you okay, I will tell you bye, I would ignore you, whatever the first thing that comes to my mind, that's what happens. Not saying it's right, but at the end of the day, I'm starting to realize that no matter what you do, how you do it, somebody's always going to have something to say. If I didn't date women, or if I like men, some people would, and if I was a straight cis female, most people probably wouldn't like the man I'm with. So why would I sit here and be unhappy for you when at the end of the day, you still might have not liked this individual man that I chose to be with? That's just like with people and family members not understanding that my name is Khaiden. If I was a cisgender female, decided to live my life as such, or the normal right way of living, if I would have married a male that day on, I would have no longer been Miss Miller. From that particular day, nobody would address me as Miss Miller because it would be disrespectful. So, with transitioning, I still cannot understand how some people still cannot understand the fact that I decided to change something about myself. And yes, it's going to take you some time. Just like it may have would have took you some time to make sure you would have called me Mrs. Jones or Mrs. Robertson or any of those above things. The same concept goes into play with calling me Khaiden. It's going to take you some time, but it shouldn't take you 2 years. It shouldn't take you 3 years. It shouldn't take you 4 years to get that right. It shouldn't. It just should not. It wouldn't have taken you 4 years. As a matter of fact, it wouldn't have even taken you 3 months to make sure if I would have married a cisgendered male that you would have called me his last name. That happens instantaneously, especially with black families. That would happen instantaneously. So I'm not going to sit here and ignore the fact of your boxed in ignorance. And that's what I call it, boxed in ignorance. When a person can say, well, I would do this for this situation, but I'm not going to do it for that situation. That's a person who had, like, at the end of the day, they I'm not going to say sometime, but they choose when they want to respect somebody or not. And with those people, I do this. I treat you like a business. Profitable? I'll see you. Non-profitable? I'll see you when I get around to it. Point blank period. And that's how I do things. It may not be right. For me, I'm happy. I'm good. Personally, I'm probably at one of the points in my life where I am truly at my most happiest. I'm about to graduate in another year, and med school is shortly to follow, and I'm at a point where everything's starting to come to play. Everything that I've seen in dreams that I've had about myself, everything that I've done to make sure I'm happy is happening. So I would just say, with handling the situations, I know Kaysen said be the bigger person. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute. Oh, I'm sorry, guys. I'm going to play devil's advocate for a minute and just say sometimes being the bigger person does not help in all situations. I've tried it. I've tried where I said, okay, I'm going to let you call me Cabrina, but hey, eventually this is going to change. And then when I tried to change it, it was like, well, you let me do this for so long. So I would just say, handle your business when you first do it. That way you don't have to worry about dealing with it later. Because when you deal with it later, it's going to be a harder habit to break. Um, that's why the people who I know I was going to be around and I was going to be out in public with most of the time, that's why I tried to really truly correct them right then and there versus just letting it go with some people. Another thing is, don't accept anybody's projected negativity on yourself. Don't allow anybody to subject you to that kind of treatment. It's definitely not acceptable. Another thing that's not acceptable is LGBT people demeaning and being ruthless to one another due to the fact of envy or jealousy or any one of those above negative characteristics that we have in our in you know I don't see a point. What's another thing I wanted to talk about? I know that I did get a lot of heat from a few trans guys about my minoxidil opinion. To be honest, the guys who I addressed or who addressed me first with what's going on, I've already addressed them. They kind of understand where I'm at now, and they are actually anxious for a video when I have some time. Probably I'm gonna do that video when I'm out of school in the next 4 weeks, when we have a free topic week. I'm gonna try to do it then. That way, you all can see why I have my opinion, because it is very it was kind of a messed up situation I was in, and it kind of led me to feel the way that I feel. But it also, like, other things also contribute to why I feel the way that I feel about minoxidil. But I did get a lot of negative, demeaning things from people in our community, especially some like trans guys. They kind of got upset at me for not having that favorable opinion, and a lot of them who addressed me with it, they were very, I'm not gonna demean their transition, but they were very early on in. And what the hell? They were very early on in their transition. So, is pollen? They were very early on in their transition, like no more than 3 or 4 months. So, they were like, "Oh, we're so eager for your other video," and we kind of, they just say, "Oh, I didn't know all that was going on with you, yada yada yada." I was like, I cannot detail everything in a 5-minute video, guys. I just can't. Like, this video is 13 minutes, and this is just me talking. It's not me going into finite details about things. So, yeah, it's your Wednesday guy, Khaiden. I'm out. Hopefully I'll probably get back on the page once I get out of class. I have work, so I have to go get dressed and a few other things. So I hope y'all day goes well. I hope everybody enjoys this well, and wherever you are, I hope the weather is as beautiful as it is here in Louisiana. So yeah, it's Khaiden. It's your Wednesday guy. I'm out.